any food company, food or beverage, we'll eat and drink your foods in these videos if they're for free.
For real. Chat and snack. Chack and art. Chack and art. Art Chack.
Art Chack.
Should that be the name of the series?
I think so. Art Chackin'. Art Chackin' with Corrie Nat. Maybe we could merge our name in some weird way. Make our couple name.
Cat? No. Notori?
Notorious. And you just want to say notorious.
Oh my god, that would be like the opening theme song.
Notorious.
Hey everybody, welcome to our first art chat video. Art chat? Art Chack.
Yeah.
Art chat and snack.
Chatting plus snacking.
Chatting and snacking. We got some cocoa runes. I couldn't decide.
Another merging of words.
Cocoa runes. I couldn't decide on the flavor, so I got the salted caramel and the lemon pie.
I love how this like turned into like a food vlog.
Yep. Yep.
What's that called?
That's a definition of creativity, is merging ideas that you don't expect to be merged. And here we are,
Like
doing it.
Cocos and runes and chatting and snacking and art and food.
Oh my god, that's good. We just went to the Corita Kent exhibit at the CROCKER in Sacramento. It was dope.
It was beautiful.
It was really good. We have actually done an episode of the podcast on Corita Kent, so we'll have that linked down below for you. It is kind of ridiculous. You weren't on that one.
Which kind of made me enjoy listening to it a lot more.
Okay, so Corita, such an amazing human being.
Yeah.
I was doing some research on her today. There is a documentary about her called Become a Microscope.
Do what?
Everything is so perfect.
You know,
I know, it's so good. It's so perfect for her because her whole vibe, like, so as a teacher, she just wanted to teach her students to see. She just wanted
oh my god,
to,
that's like what we believe in.
I know, she just...
It's the most pure goal.
So,
I mean, I was on it and I was listening to it this morning and I was like in tears, so it's a goofy one.
But like, I think Corita would have been very proud of what she pulled from you guys, because a lot of the kind of tangential conversations that have to do with friendship and like life and greater ideas stem from her work. Like, you guys
It's
start
true.
talking about a work, talking about an idea, and then it just blossoms. So Corita would be proud.
Yeah, we go on some crazy tangents, but that was like, yeah, just synapses firing, ideas flowing. Like, that was a very fun episode to record. And yeah, and the alcohol was flowing as well. So in case you're unfamiliar with Corita Kent, she was a very important pop artist. She worked a lot in like the 60s and 70s. I think she was born in 1912, I want to say, and died in the 80s. She worked in California. She taught at Immaculate Heart College in LA, and she was a Catholic nun, a very devout Catholic nun who was also doing just really dope, very political, very cerebral, very interesting pop art, and she's just a total badass, and so many people have never heard of her.
Yeah.
So check her out.
Talk about awesome merging, though. Nun and pop artist screen printer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right?
amazing. Like, the work she does is so visually stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
And the typography that she throws in there and the quotes that she references, I mean, it's all across the board. She had Lewis Carroll. She had biblical.
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Lots of biblical. George Harrison. There's a George Harrison quote on one.
And this is all just from the exhibit we saw, so that's not even tapping into the wealth of references that she would have used.
Yeah, her work is incredibly referential. It has almost like a very, like, there's kind of like a zine type feel, like a Riot Girl zine type thing. but 20 years prior.
But it also jumps around a lot too. Like, I was picking up on different influences, and obviously there is so much of like the Warhol, but she also kind of reminded me of Kiefer when she did the photo works. The floral, there was the black and white, and then the one with a daisy.
Oh, yeah.
And they were,
I guess,
distorted photographs.
I guess, too, the pink one that we both like so much has kind of
which is weird, because it is very Kiefer, but it's bright pink.
It's all pink.
If it were, like, blacks and browns, I would think maybe it were, like, a Kiefer sketch, but no,
it does have a very Kiefer feel now that I think about it. And what was the name of it? It's something Moon. We'll throw it up on the screen.
It's like moon markings or like moon something.
Moon. But it's beautiful, and I do like pink, but Nat doesn't at all.
I loved that work, and that kind of is a testament to the power of that work, because I really don't enjoy the color pink 90% of the time.
I don't feel like that work
was one of my
is
favorites.
really, I mean, like, I don't know, like, it doesn't represent what the color pink typically represents. There's something else going on there.
And I love pink when it does that. When pink's used in an interesting way and in an unusual way.
Corita Kent's work, which I'm sure you've seen already because it's probably scrolling right now as we talk. It's very colorful. It's very pop art. Lots of colors, lots of overlaying colors, lots of bright colors. Just like all good pop art, it references advertisement. Only what Corita did, which was just brilliant and like so on another level, is she is approaching all these elements of pop art, but she's also infusing them all with like divinity and faith and kind of like religious ideas, but on like a spiritual mystic kind of level. She's like pulling the mysticism out of everyday objects, which I think is just absolutely brilliant.
While using the pop art aesthetic.
Yeah, so while also making something as thematically, philosophically heavy as that, making it super accessible because you're using pop art to do so. Should we try the lemon?
Yeah, let's do it.
Lemon pie!
Ooh, that smells lemony.
That's very lemony.
Oh, that's good.
It doesn't taste as lemony as it smells. Ooh, I'm really excited to like have one of these with my coffee in the morning. Oh, it's gonna be good.
That'd be good. Or tea at night. Just across the board.
Or both. Start your day with a cocoa rune, end your day with a cocoa rune.
We are not being sponsored by Cocoa Rune.
We're not.
Corita Kent.
Corita Kent. Let's see. What else? In a lot of her work, she's kind of going surprisingly deep into language and like understanding language. She's really interested in how individual words create meaning, and she explored like the Bible a lot and biblical passages.
If you haven't gathered by now too, she is very progressive as far as Catholicism goes. Like, she's very Catholic, but she also believes in a progressive form of Catholicism. Zach summed it up really well in the full-length episode, talking about how she wanted to kind of challenge the structure of the Catholic Church, but not by bringing the upper echelons down, but by elevating the daily, the everyday object, the everyday activity, the everyday existence, and elevating that in order to raise everything up.
Yeah, she was definitely not super concerned with like dogma. She was much more, I mean, she was a super devout Catholic nun, but she practiced what she preached, and there's a really great work, the Power Up series.
You guys will see it. We got lots of great shots of it.
Yeah, the Power Up series is beautiful, and from a distance, that's what it says in large, colorful letters. It says Power Up, but when you zoom in, there's all sorts of text that's kind of hashing out these ideas about being Christian and being Catholic, and there's this really great passage about how it's difficult to be Christian because that means you can't ignore poverty and you can't ignore poor people because that's what like Jesus preached, and it's really beautifully written and really like poetic and beautiful. She explores those ideas a lot and is very, very outward about like political ideals, but in an incredibly poetic way and in a way that ties in her beliefs and ties in her Catholicism. in a way, to me, that makes Catholicism very not only approachable, but very attractive.
I was going to say, it's appealing.
Yeah.
And she's doing all of this while remaining positive. Like, all of her messages and just her art are overwhelmingly positive feeling.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Such a good energy.
They're uplifting.
Such a good energy.
It's not, you know, when she does go on these social rants, like, it's not heavy and weighty. It's, like, optimistic, and it makes you feel good. It doesn't make you feel guilty or angry. It's, like, she's very much into lifting up, not pulling down.
Super optimistic, but not in a cheesy way that that glosses over things at all. Like, not even remotely. It's very real, but still very optimistic and inspiring, and like, oh, it just makes you feel so good.
So hard.
I love her. Like,
she's so amazing.
I really, like, I would give anything to have been able to have her as a teacher. She was, as we said, she was a professor, and her students, there's a really good documentary on her where they talked to a lot of her students, and they all adored her because they said she was a very, like, glowing light presence, and she really cared about making people see and making people look at their surroundings, and it all comes back to this main idea, which I love, is just that she saw the divine in everything, or believed that the divine was in everything, and it was really about finding the divine in every little bit of daily life, which, I mean, that's like a super, like, Buddhist mentality, you know? So she definitely had a more, like I said, not a super specific dogmatic approach to her belief in God. It was much more these bigger ideas of, like, God is in everything, and finding it in everything, whether it, be nature or a advertisement for potato chips. And then, too, we won't get too much into it because, like, I haven't done my research, but we stopped by, they also had a Faith Ringgold exhibit. We'll throw up some images from that as well, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Faith Ringgold, another badass, amazing lady artist.
She's contemporary. She's still living.
Yeah. And I don't know too much about her, so I don't want to, like, pretend I have all sorts of information on her, but from what I've learned from the exhibit, like, just very super feminist, very, very concerned with issues of Black history, Black identity. Her work is so versatile, like, so versatile. I feel like that's such a common thing we see with so many of these female artists.
I was going to say, we keep coming back to this. We started with Sonia Delany, even Corita Kent. I mean, she didn't, like, span many medium, but the aesthetics of her work still delve into a lot of different
women artists. They just and I don't know if it's because they're like, I don't need to be perfect at one thing, like, what do I got to lose? But they explore a lot more, and you see a bigger variety of their work when it's on display, typically.
And we're talking about art historically, so if male artists out there, don't get offended. We're all for male artists starting to jump on that ship too, and being kind of multifaceted in their art.
Just more so in terms of the way that women artists right now, the way that historical women artists have been shown in museums, they tend to be shown with this, like, great versatility, and jumping around in mediums a lot. And Faith Ringgold's definitely an example of that, and she really explores, like, the whole, she has work on the Harlem Renaissance, civil rights movement, slavery, what was the diptych about
African love story,
and it was about apartheid. And, like, just brilliant. It's a diptych, but they're two quilts, and it's a love story during the time of apartheid. And
part 1 and 2. She fits so much text onto those quilts.
Yeah, she does a lot of work on quilts. A lot of them are, like, painted quilts. There's, like, painted imagery on
she
quilts.
Painted, and she had the silk on silk screen, which I just like saying.
Yeah.
Silk screen on silk.
So you have, once again, that interesting intersection between feminist artists, female artists that are interested in the feminine, working in craft mediums, working with quilts, working with embroidery, working with those kind of things. And that was definitely present. Like, it was clear that was intentional for her. She also wrote a children's book, Tar Beach, and did a quilt series. And it's a really beautiful story. In the exhibit at the Crocker, they had the quilt, and then they also had a still by still of the children's book laid out, which was really cool.
And they hung it a little bit lower than conventional on the wall, which I thought was cool because it's like geared towards children.
For children.
And
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah,
Oh, how
the
cute.
Crocker's really good about including children's kind of perspectives in the museum.
It
and
was
catering to them.
It was crawling with
If
children
you live in
today.
the Sacramento area and you have a child, the Crocker is a great place to take them.
But yeah, so the Faith Ringgold was really, really good, and you can definitely expect a future podcast episode on her at some point, because that was definitely one that left me. I mean, I had
I
heard
know
her
you
name.
love that because the intersection of craft and
Yeah.
art, like she does it so well.
She
and
really does, like really
that
well.
would
There's something very expressionistic about like the quilts as well, like the way she paints on them and the way she layers like different fabrics. So it's a very interesting mix of medium that I appreciate. I had heard her name before. I've heard of her, but I just was not familiar with her work. So definitely excited to look more into her as well. But yeah, that was our day at the Crocker.
It was great.
It was a good time. It was a fun time.
Got to see our friends Christina.
Oh yeah, Christina and
And
Rachel.
Rachel.
Shout out, y'all. Hey. Art check number 1. Chack. These will be, sometimes we'll go to exhibits, sometimes we'll probably just pick a topic and talk about it, but just kind of free-flowing snacks and chatting about art type stuff. Definitely check out our other YouTube videos. We've got some vlogs. We've got our 3 book series that we're working on. We got featured artist video, new featured artist. Be sure to check that out. If you haven't checked out the podcast, linked down below, definitely want to start there.
And
probably.
yeah, check out that Corita Kent episode to get going.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny and informative.
If there's any content you guys are interested in seeing from us, we're open to all sorts of ideas and are obviously having fun with this YouTube thing. So definitely leave those down in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, go get some cocoa runes.
Tell your friends.
If you haven't today, go look at some art.
Or just look at something. In the spirit of Corita Kent, just look at something that maybe you've looked over in the past and look at it real good.
Yeah, take some extra time to just look at something today. I think that's
Honor the memory of Corita Kent.
a great send-off. So thanks for watching. Bye.